Hi, welcome to another episode of Beyond Just Fine. So, last week we spoke about future self, about how we can try and embody that future version of ourselves into the right now. Because when we can try and adapt to that mindset of the person that's already achieved the things that we want, it can sometimes help us move through any stuckness that we might have. It can also help us make the right decisions to take us down the path to achieve our goals and our dreams. It can also inspire and motivate us to make those changes. Now, motivation, as you probably know, can be really powerful, but it can also be really unpredictable. So we may have days where motivation is in full force and we feel really focused, really driven, really inspired, and we just want to tick everything off of that list. All the things that we said we were going to do, we're going to do them, and it all feels so great. That 2-hour workout at the gym that we said we were going to do every day, yeah, smashed it. That new hobby we've taken up, we're going to spend an hour practicing it, yeah, everything is great. But then there are the days when motivation has packed its bags and gone on holiday. It's not there. And that 2-hour workout that we said we were going to do every day just feels like a chore. That new hobby that we've taken up, what on earth were we thinking? So the problem is that if progress depends on motivation, what do we do when it's not there? Well, this is where consistency comes in, because consistency is more important than motivation. Consistency is about showing up even when you don't really feel like it. So perhaps instead of that 2-hour workout you promised you'd do, maybe it's just doing a 20-minute one. Instead of spending an hour on that new hobby that you took up, maybe it's just doing half an hour. Because lasting change isn't built by those big bursts of energy that we get when we feel motivated. It's actually built by doing things frequently, even if it's small actions. Because those small actions in the moment, they might not seem very much, but over time, they can make a bigger difference. So that 20-minute workout that you can do 5 days a week can matter more than that 2-hour workout that you only manage to do once a week because your motivation isn't there. So it's just about realizing that when we can do things repeatedly, it builds momentum. It can actually give us a little bit of motivation because we can see that we're achieving something. It also builds confidence too, because every time we keep a promise to ourselves, we're actually telling ourselves a really important message. I can rely on me. And even those small little bits of self-trust can make the foundations to bigger changes later on. So when motivation isn't there, when it's lurking away in the background and we just can't find it, instead of trying to push ourselves to be motivated, instead of asking ourselves, well, how can I get this motivation back? Maybe it's just taking that pause and saying, okay, how can I make this easier for me? What can I do that's more achievable, that I can do more consistently? So it's not about spending hours and hours trying to achieve those things that we want. It's not about trying to do them perfectly. It's just about trying to see how we can break it down into small little actions that we can manage to do each day, even when we're not feeling completely motivated. Because how we show up each day is the thing that matters the most. And also, we might reach our goals quicker. Showing up each day creates a habit. Because we're doing those things regularly, it becomes part of our routine. That's how habits are formed. They just become part of our routine. So break down those bigger challenges. Maybe that exercise regime that you want to set out when you think, yeah, I can do 2 hours a day in the gym. That's going to get me the beach body that I want. Be realistic. Are we going to be able to manage 2 hours a day? Maybe we can do, okay, well, let's aim for at least 20 minutes. And if we get those days where we can feel like doing more, great. Maybe we've set ourselves a challenge of meditating for half an hour a day. And then we've realized actually we don't have that time in the mornings to spend half an hour meditating. We've got train to catch, we've got children to look after. Maybe 5 minutes is more manageable. And maybe when we have the time, we can do that half an hour. Maybe that new hobby we've taken up, yeah, we'd love to spend an hour every day doing it. But maybe it's more practical to maybe spend half an hour 5 times a week. And then on those days where we've got a bit more time or feel more motivated, we can perhaps take a little bit longer. So it's just about trying to see the things that we can do to make them more easy for us to be able to manage to do them and to do them more frequently. Because it makes us feel good too. Because when we've set ourselves those goals and challenges and then we don't do them, it can feel quite demotivating. And that can then make us feel like, well, maybe we'll just give this up. Maybe it wasn't such a good idea. But when we can see that we're doing little things, even if it is little things, but we're doing them gradually, doing them daily, then it's showing us that we can actually achieve them. And like I said, that can give us that little boost of motivation to keep us going. So motivation is great when it's there, but when it's not, consistency is the champion. So it's just thinking about what is it that I can do consistently. What will help me more in the long term? What will future me thank me for doing today? But as always, be kind to yourself. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.